Hello, my name is Andre Johnson, and I'm a student at St. Leo, and this is something about me. I was born on August 6, 1982, in a city called Temple in the state of Texas. It's a little small city. Not too many people know about it. They're usually familiar with the Army base, which is like an hour and a half away, I believe, in Killeen, Texas, which is Fort Hood. Um, so I was born in a hospital called Scott and White to a mom who is black and a dad who is Hispanic. I am the oldest of my mom and dad's kids. My mom and dad were never married. With my mom, my dad had two kids, me and my sister, and he has four kids in another relationship. Um, with my dad, I never really knew him. He was never in my life. Pretty much after my mom knew nothing was going to happen between them, we ended up moving to Florida and moving back to Texas two or three times in my life. Um, but I was pretty much raised by a single parent until the age of 12 when my mom died. She died of lupus. It was pretty much sudden. In August, I think it was August of '94, I believe I woke up and she was having a seizure, which I thought she was choking. So I ran to my grandmother because we lived in my grandmother's house, and she found out she had a seizure, and within 4 months she was gone. She and after she died, we ended up moving to Arizona with my aunt and uncle, which was a big shock to me because it was just a whole different life. Um, and when I lived in Arizona, 3 years later, my aunt died of lupus. Same thing, my mom died just in a different area of the body. So after she died, we moved back to Tampa, Florida, me and my sister, and lived with my grandma and my aunt and uncle until I finished high school. Once I finished high school, I graduated early, like in December, at East Bay High School here in Gibsonton. So January, I was gone. January of 2001, I went to the Marine Corps and enlisted. Ended up doing 12 years there. So seen combat a few times. Got to see the world. I wouldn't change it for anything. What my first duty station, which was Okinawa, Japan. I went to Okinawa in August of 2001. That's where I was at during September 11th, which was pretty crazy because with the time difference over there, it was at night, and it happened over here in America in the daytime. So, it was pretty crazy just to see that. I wasn't even in the Marine Corps for a year when that happened, so it really hit me like I enlisted for a reason. Um, Being in Japan, I ended up meeting my wife. She's Japanese. She's Okinawan. Um, the moment I met her, it was like the first woman that, well, in my life, I guess, that had her own job, car, apartment. She was independent. She she act like she didn't need me, so I guess that's what pulled me in. Um, and we've now been married for 16 years, and we have three kids, uh, 15, 14, and 13. I have a daughter named Ilori, which her name is Nigerian for treasure, God's treasure, I believe. My son Tayshawn and my oldest son Andre Jr. Uh, yes, my daughter is the youngest, and I have two in high school. Um, it was a rocky relationship. Growing up how I did, I had no stability. I was moved around a lot. Never had a father figure in my life. It was pretty hard to start out a family, especially in the Marine Corps, where I was getting up 3, 4 in the morning and wouldn't show up at home till 7, 8 at night sometimes, maybe later. So it was a very big thing for me to overcome. But I think at the age I am now, which is 37, I believe that I've done better than you know what what a lot of other people would have done. You know, the odds were against me. No father, no male figure, anything like that. I believe that I've done a lot, which with the things that I've overcame in life, I believe that that's the reason why I was called to be a social worker. Because, you know, like they say, we're not here to help people. And I believe that because, I, I mean, I guess it kind of is helping people, but I believe that I can show somebody what I've done just so they can learn and know that they can do it too. Um, and it's crazy, like in life, I learned I didn't really learn that you can really do a lot of things until I had my kids. I really didn't know. The beginning of my marriage was really hard because I didn't know. I was lost. I knew I loved her, but I didn't really know what a man was. I really didn't. She has really taught me a lot. So, and like I said, being a social worker, you have to learn. I believe, you know, somebody can try to help you all day, try to hold your hand, but at the end of the day, you have to learn. That's the only way I became a better person, a better man, was learning. Without learning, I don't even think I would be married. You know, I have a really strong woman that put up with a lot that I've done, you know, and a lot of things that I've done, I really didn't know the difference. Going to certain places and saying certain things really took me down a spiral, and I got to drinking a lot, and you know, I turned into a different person. But I've turned away from, you know, liquor. I don't drink that much anymore, and it's made everything for the better. You know, we've within the last year we've bought our first house. Everything's looking good. My wife's trying to be a manager at her job, and you know, I see life in a different way now, and I'm happy that I am where I am today. Um, Sometimes I feel like I want to thank my dad. Uh, Not really thank him for being that way, but you know, I'm glad that I can not be. I can see that that was bad. You know, um, hanging around with older people, you know, people that are established, people that want something in life. That's the people I want to be around, and that's what really taught me to where I am today. And I'm glad for them that they did that for me. Um, but with social work, I believe that, you know, if people can see somebody that looks like them, grew up like them, and they're able to overcome those struggles, I think that's a big thing, and I think that would help. At first, I got into this thinking that I just wanted to do veteran work, but the more I'm in class and the more I'm really opening my eyes to the world, I realize that there are so many avenues that I really can touch. Veterans is you know, of course, is always going to be close to my heart, but also it can be, you know, kids without parents, kids who have went through a lot of grief growing up, you know, different things like that. Because when my mom died, I really should have sat down and talked with somebody, because I didn't. I had, being in a poor family, you got to keep on pushing. You can't, we don't have money to stop and think about it and try to get over it. You got to keep on pushing. I remember my mom died and life was like back to where it was, like just minus one person, and it shouldn't be like that. It was so bad that, you know, I never visited her grave, especially I was gone a lot. And in the year 2015, when I moved back to Florida, we went to see her grave, and I broke down. Like, I've never cried that hard, probably ever. Maybe I have, but it was a while. And it was like a release. I really don't know what it was, but it really helped me out, and I'm glad I moved back and I'm able to go visit my mom more, things like that. Um, but like I said, with social work, I think I'm able to touch a lot of people. I know I'm not able to change the world, and I know I'm not able to touch everybody, but I believe because we all gotta die one day, and I feel that when I get older, I hope I'm able to see families, work out and stay together, and people be a better person. They come up to me and shake my hand. I don't have to have anybody tell me thank you. I just want to be able to see that and at least know that I've done something in this world. I've left it a little bit better than when I came. That's all I want. Um, but another thing about like my family life with my grandmother, I grew up with her, but we don't really talk a lot because of the type of person she is. And during these classes, it's really opening my eyes to why she is the person she is. Uh, she had 4 children, 3 girls, 1 boy. 3 of them died from lupus, and the other one was in prison for murder, which he got out a couple years ago. He did 35 plus years. So she's, you know, at the age she is, it's just she doesn't know any different, I guess. And that's another thing that, as a person, that I'm gonna reach out to her and let her know, and that I'm always here, for her if need be. Because before it's too late, I just want her to know. I just want her to be able to change herself. That's all. But growing up, you know, on my mom and dad's side, there were males. Like, I had cousins, but on both sides, everybody was out on the street selling drugs. Me, I never even thought about it. That's just not me. I didn't want to risk my life like that. Hearing about people going out there getting killed over $20, $5, $1, like that just didn't strike anything in me to want to go out there and risk it. But I found myself hanging out with a lot of people that did the same things. I guess I was just used to it. And also because, growing up in my neighborhood, we had a corner store down the street, which pretty much had everything. So once you get off that bus, you don't leave. You need some snacks, some milk, whatever, you go to that corner store and you right there back at your house. So at school, it was an outlet. You saw different people, talked to different people, but growing up in the neighborhood, you was around the same people. So that's pretty much how my friends were, and a lot of them still doing the same thing. I go and try to talk to them, and and it's kind of sad because they actually want me to do better, which is crazy. They do the same thing. They don't want to change. They still running the streets at 30 plus years, 35 plus years old, and they expect me to be better. I go to their house and they're like, "Why you don't have this? Why you don't have a mansion?" And it's crazy. It's crazy. Especially like I keep saying, being in these classes, but college has really taught me a lot about life, about just the world around me, and just hearing people say the things they do is, I keep notes so I can be able to think about it later and wonder why they did that or why they said that, because some people don't know. They don't know the difference. Um, which 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 all with being lost where you are and not being able to experience being outside of that, I believe that can lead to oppression. um some people, they think, they talk about welfare. Actually, the other day I was just talking to somebody, and they were talking about, people on food stamps and people on this and that, and I was like, what do you think about these companies that are going out and really making, they're getting, instead of going bankrupt, they're getting money from the government. There's like, that's different, they worked hard for that. And I'm like, but you don't really understand what's going on underneath. Like, that's all welfare. Um, and it's kind of hard. And with the oppression, especially in these days, um, if you don't really keep your eyes open and also listen to what's going on, you will be oppressed and you're going to stay there because you feel that maybe a little bit of something is gonna keep you living good, or some or that little bit somebody's actually helping you out. But in the long run, that's not where it's at. And things were put into place, you know, years and years and years ago, to be able to be able to be where they are today. Um, Different laws, different amendments, things like that, um, really have small words underneath that that keep people at a certain level. And I really hope that with the knowledge that I'm learning and with the life experience that I'll have, will really help me to let people know what's happening to them, because it's really messed up. It really is. Um, Now, I'm not saying that my life, that I'm thankful for my life at all. I mean, I'm thankful for to be living, and I'm not thankful for the past experiences, but it has happened to me, so I can't change it. All I can do is use those to make me stronger, and to be able to tell my experiences to other people, so they use that as fuel to keep going. Um, and I believe things like that, they help out your character and they identify you as a person, because without those life experiences, without being able to have those life experiences, and now being able to look at them and build off of them, I would be lost still. I wouldn't know where I'm going. I wouldn't be able to, show my children, um, a way to be better than me. I tell my kids all the time, like, life isn't easy at all. But if you're a good person, that makes it a little bit easier. People are gonna die, people are gonna mess you over, people are gonna do this and that. But at the end of the day, if you're a good person, nobody can change that. It's not hard to be a good person. It's not hard at all. Um, when I think of somebody that's influential in my life, it's, for one, it's my mother. That's probably the number one, because I only got 12 years. You know, my mom lived to the age of 29 years old. I only got 12 years to be with her. And I feel I learned so much with her. And it's crazy. The things that, I didn't really know that I knew until I got later, older in life. My mom taught me how to be a man. If I remember one time she bought a VCR for our apartment, and she would give me things without the instructions, and like learn how to work it, because one day you're gonna be the leader of a household, things like that. My mom taught me about sex, which, of course, for me being a kid was kind of embarrassing, but she taught me. I mean, and like I said, I was being shy and all that, but she did it as a woman. Um, a lot of things she just, would say, little things that would like hit me later on in life. And the thing that influenced me the most from her is that she was not afraid to die at all. Like, she had no fear of death. Her two sisters, they had lupus. They both passed in their 40s, but they had lupus for 20 plus years of their life in the kidneys. My mom, when she got it, well, before she got it, she said, if I ever get it, I don't want to live with it. She said, I don't want to go through the same things my sisters went through. Um, and it's crazy because she, like I said, in August, she started having seizures. And then she ended up getting lupus on her brain and was gone 4 months later. And, she was not afraid to die at all. I'm afraid to die, but I think it's for the fact that I've had a lot of family members that have died at young ages, and I feel that I'm not going to be able to accomplish enough in this world before I leave it. That's the only thing. And now, and the more and more I look at my mom's life, it makes me see that the smallest thing you do can be a big accomplishment for your life. She raised 2 kids. My sister is married. She has 2 kids now. She just bought her first house. They're not struggling. We're not struggling. My sister doesn't even remember how my mom looks because she was 10 or 11 years old. But we're both in a good place. My dad's side of the family, my stepbrother and sisters over there, they are struggling. And my dad is still alive, and they're able to talk to him every day. That's why my mom influences me, because through all the struggles of her being a single parent, a man that didn't want to pay child support, that we lived all in the same apartment buildings, and he wouldn't walk 2 minutes down the sidewalk to see his 2 oldest kids. But through all that, she still lived a full 29 years, and raised her young kids to be what we are today. I had a lot of struggles too in my life, but the things that I learned from her really showed me that I learned from somebody that was past their years. So as far as society shaping me, I'm not, I guess moving around a lot really made me to a person where I'm kind of quiet around people until I really get to know them. Especially being in the Marine Corps, you're around some of the same people, but a lot of people do leave. You know, people are leaving, people are going. Um, Unfortunately, you know, suicides, things like that is always happening. So I've just always been I guess moving around a lot, and that's why I don't really have a lot of friends because I don't really get too close to people. I have people like in Tampa that I talk to every now and then, but we're not really too close. I'm just I'm to the point right now where I'm just happy to be with my wife and kids. I'm happy to be around my kids, teaching them things because, like I tell them, I don't know when I'm going to leave this earth, and I hope when I do, I was able to teach them everything I knew, even though that's, you know, kind of hard. But um, now, as far as my appearance, I'm always in shorts and a shirt, and people always are like, you know, they always tend to think I'm a laid back person, which is right. Um, I think I wear myself on the outside. Um, I don't try to look better than anybody. I just try to be me and just let people know that I'm laid back. I'm able to talk about anything to anybody. I don't discriminate. I love everybody. I love people. I love good people. And that's why the places I do go are laid back type of places. Um, and you know, growing older and identifying and seeing who I am as a person, I really realized the type of places I like to be and the type of people I like to be around. So, and the type of clothes I like to wear, which I'm comfortable in, and I think it shows who I am. Um, and that's pretty much it. Um, I hope I was very insightful with my life. I know there was a lot of back and forth. I didn't really want to sound like a robot and sound like I was just reading from a paper. I wrote a few key points on the paper, but I just wanted to like kind of wing it because I feel that I would bring up more in depth things than just reading off a paper. Thank you.